So, welcome back to Seek Strength long form content. These are affectionately known as the shit talk, and now I've ruined our ad suitability because if you curse, to be honest, at all in the video, it gets flagged. But now, if you curse in the first 30 seconds, it really gets flagged. You know,
Yeah.
These are basically just us talking nonsense,
Talking smack.
Usually, we try and bring up some subject regards to fitness, but today's not really. Oftentimes, you know, we just do the fitness stuff so we can put in the thumbnail. People will click on to watch it, but they end up watching the rest of the shit talk because it's entertaining. But we've literally nothing fitness related to talk about today.
No, I have a few fitness things in the back of my head.
Leave them there. I was looking for a podcast like this,
Right.
where people are just chatting, you know.
I've something to bring up on this topic.
And it's actually really hard to find. The only person I could find was, you know, Max Tuning, that I watch. He's Don't Be Sour, and there's just one of his friends where they just talk, but they only do it like every 3 months. So
Yes.
that's it. Just kind of listen to them.
There's an Irish Shite Talk history podcast. Have you seen this?
What's it called?
Shite Talk. That's the name of it.
Did they steal our name?
I think they stole our name.
How long have they been going?
It's called Shite Talk History.
How long have they been going? When was their first episode up?
Let me go back now.
Let's get our
They've 337 posts on Instagram. So
rookie numbers.
it just popped up the other day on the
Shite
gram.
Talk, an Irish history podcast.
They've been going a while.
How long's a while like?
I'm trying to scroll through. The Wi-Fi really doesn't reach into this cold, dark room of
I'm
darkness.
getting excellent reception.
Are you?
Yeah.
Maybe you're robbing all mine.
Okay,
Where are we
already
at
in
now?
October 2020.
I'm on 21.
29.
You're already on 2020.
I'm at 29th of October 2019.
I'm going to hope that they have less tagged things up, but it appears
They
not.
started with Ballyrush and Cortez, the spy who loved us.
2019, there's one up.
We've been doing sugar talks for a long time.
Yeah. Schmack talk.
Schmack talking. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, to be honest, the only other option is American comedians. And I will not be listening to American comedians.
Speaking of which,
on a podcast.
probably the most anticipated podcast episode that's come out in a while. Sean Strickland on Theo Von. Did you
Yes.
listen to that?
No, I saw the stuff about him crying.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland talking about that.
It's actually it's a good listen because they're both just taking the piss out of each other constantly.
Until Sean starts crying.
The crying thing is massively overinflated. It's not really.
Americans aren't good at taking the piss out of each other.
No, but it's actually kind of funny because
Yeah.
Theo Von is like, oh, you know some things, but not about what you're talking about. Or he was like, I would listen to you, but you've been hitting the head too many times. And then Sean Strickland
that's
was like,
pretty good.
Sean Strickland then hits him back with the like, oh, fancy college boy, but now all you do is pretend to be a redneck.
Okay, that's pretty. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a tough listen because we've said this before. People who get hit in the head for a living are not easy to listen to.
Oh, you were telling me?
Yeah.
You are telling me. I've listened to you every day of my
I
life,
know.
basically.
Yeah.
But no, Theo Von is probably one of the best ones. He was on the trigonometry, and
Oh my God, that
the
intro.
that was the best thing ever. At the start, he's sitting down, the camera's facing Theo Von's face, and the two guys, trigonometry. If you haven't listened to them, you'll immediately appreciate the joke if you know who I'm talking about. And he starts laughing as they're doing the intro. Theo's not even supposed to be talking yet. And he's just laughing, and you guys have got what we call the tism in America. It is so funny. Theo Von is hilarious.
He is funny. They just have a very different kind of humor to us.
I feel like listening to rednecks, it sounds like pretty similar to Irish humor.
Yes.
Is rednecks? No, you can be derogatory towards other white people, can't we?
Yeah.
We can call them rednecks.
I don't think racism exists in this room, Owen. I think we can say whatever we want.
They're the equivalent of boggers, basically, I would say.
Yeah. I've been called a bogger so much.
Do Dublin people know that that's not an insult? Like, it's,
Yeah, I feel like, sure, I'm a culture. Sure, I'm from the country. Like,
who would be proud of being from Dublin, you know?
yeah.
Why would you?
Ugh.
Ugh.
It's kind of...
In fact, if someone calls you a bogger, it tells you everything you need to know about them.
Yeah, you can profile someone very strongly if they view that as a bad thing.
Yeah, if they call you a bogger.
A bogger?
Yeah. Who are you? You have to say or, like or.
You have... I have like a visceral reaction to that posh Dublin accent, but you have a reaction on like anyone I've ever come across.
Oh my God. If it's on the rugby post talks, like, it'll annoy me so much I'll have text into one of the WhatsApp groups. It's so annoying. Like listening to Heaslip talk there, or
yeah,
one of the Carney brothers.
Yeah.
That's made up. That's not a
It's-
real accent.
yeah. It's just deeply unfortunate that nearly every international rugby player in Ireland is a very well-to-do private school player.
Tig doesn't have that.
Tig
Tig doesn't have that accent.
doesn't have it. No,
Tig Furlong does not have that accent.
no. Keith Earls didn't have that accent.
No.
Ronan O'Gara didn't, but he went to a posh private school.
For some reason, some of the best of Munster had that accent, or
Because they're all private school, like.
Yeah, it's it's an English thing. It's a West Brit accent. That's what that is.
The Dublin one.
The rich Dublin
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
They were
yeah.
affecting to try and emulate it. Like it's
Yeah.
the same with some of the specific Cork accents in the city.
Do you know what they never said that about?
What?
The Northwest Cork accent.
Yeah.
That's a hard nut to crack.
From the murder triangle.
Yeah.
It's a wild country out there. Like
It is wild country. You got through the Christmas without any grievous bodily harm or anything, though.
as
You
far
did
as I
well.
know, there was no axe murders.
Actually, yeah, you don't know yet.
No, it's
Usually they wait a few months and the bodies start smelling in the sheds.
See, like a lot of times it is. Although with the recent 24-hour news cycle, a lot of times those things are really fast.
Geez, they pop up fast.
Usually-
Actually,
Yeah.
you didn't get through it because there was a massive brawl in the chipper in your
Ah,
hotel.
here. That doesn't even count.
So, to give people context, there's problems with where I'm from.
Yeah.
But Gerf is from an area of Northwest Cork referred to colloquially as the murder triangle.
Right.
Because there's a lot of, is it familicide?
Murder, I think.
Yes, a lot of murder goes on up there.
Call it.
But there was in one of the local towns a massive brawl in a chipper where a lad was caught open by a pizza. What's a pizza paddle?
I think a pizza paddle is
It's
pretty
a pizza paddle, yeah.
good. Yeah, there's videos online. I don't think we'll put them up just in case.
No,
YouTube.
definitely not.
To be honest, they're WhatsApp videos, so I don't even know. I actually know some of the people in the video, funny enough. It's
Yeah.
from the town I went to school in. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty funny. I don't know how it started. I imagine a lot of coke and drink fueled.
Yes.
And someone really short stainless steel pizza paddle,
Yeah.
among many much fighting.
Much fighting, yeah.
One of them got a thunk in the head, blood everywhere. A deadly weapon in the hands of a Turkish man.
Yeah. And a violent Turkish man.
Yeah, angry.
Yeah.
Floor's very slippery, like a lot of falling.
Floor slippery and your feet don't go where you want them to go when you're drunk.
I'd have my shoes off and the gi on, ready to roll. Like.
You would, yeah.
Yeah.
You have that
I
blue
want it
belt
on the floor.
You have that blue belt underneath the t-shirt, you know.
Floor's my ocean, and I'm a shark, you know.
Sorry, that hit home so hard there.
But one of the Gracie says that.
I know.
Well, what's his name again? But yeah, there was a big old brawl. But to be
Yeah.
honest, Dara, that doesn't even newsworthy. To be honest, that's not even.
Well, last Christmas, we had some cousins down and they were staying with us on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day night. And so we all went out. We've like cousins night every Christmas and there's a good group of us meet up. And the cousin who was staying with me, we ended up staying till closing time, as always happens, because nobody will ever leave at a reasonable hour. We're staying till closing time. We end up going to the one chipper that's open, which there's always trouble at. And next thing, the doors of the chipper get closed, which my cousin thinks is the funniest thing ever because there's fighting on the street. And there's a woman running down the middle of the street, roaring. And my cousin turned to me and he goes, "Why is she so concerned about him robbing her bag of coal?" And I was like, "Oh, are you sure that's what she said?" And he was like, yeah. I was just at the door when you ran locked the door. And she said, "Come back here, you're after robbing my bag of coal." And I was like, rethink that now again, considering the concert or the arena we're moving within. And do we think it could have been coke? And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was definitely that."
Oh, it's coke.
Yeah.
But apparently, I saw a survey recently, and I don't know how accurate these surveys are. I think these were self-admitted, anonymous
Yeah.
surveys. But apparently, Ireland for Europe is some of the highest coke users.
But it's the PED of drinking.
But
And we're right up there on the drinking stats. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Russians great at weightlifting. Mad that Russians use steroids.
Kind of the Kazakhstan of weightlifting for drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, there's no finesse to it. It's like
No, it's just...
yeah. A lot
I
of
would
young
say
lads.
the Danes are probably the like refined, but they drink a lot.
That's because of the depression they have from
Do they have depression? Yeah.
living in the. No, apparently the Danish is the happiest country.
Sweden's supposed to be very happy as well.
I think Denmark rate the highest on happiness scale.
Really?
Is there any Danish people listening?
I had some Danish buddies or made some Danish friends in the last year. It just seems everything seems so well organized. It just seems to be very like bum ba-dum ba-dum ba-dum. Ireland is like
You awared me of that theory that the Nordics and Scandinavian countries
Did I aware you or did I make you aware?
You awared me that. Who did you hear this from? It's a pretty good proposition, is that the reason they're so well organised and they're so efficient is because generally the dumber people just died out in the colder climates. Is that eventually if you were a dumbass, you weren't going to be helped, or you were going to die.
Yeah.
In a very harsh way, you know. And you ended up with this kind of Darwinian filtering of the bloodline. So you ended up with these current cultures, but it's not true because Ireland didn't end up with that.
But Ireland's like, you could survive a long time in Ireland. Like,
jeez, I don't know. There, winters are cold.
It's wet.
Well, they used to be cold.
Yeah, they're not cold. Like, it's not like falling on the way home from the pub and you freeze to death within 20 minutes.
No, it was way colder. Thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago, it was. Yeah, just on the point, when I awared you of that, sometimes I say that I've heard this theory or that I've read this somewhere, but I've actually just made it up in my head and I don't want to be attached to it.
You don't want to be...
I don't know if that's one of the ones from my particular sheath.
I remember you telling me you heard it somewhere specific, and I can't remember where.
Somewhere
specific.
It makes a lot of sense though.
It does seem... But is it one of those things, you know, where people come up with sports science theories?
Yes.
And they're like, if... I get tired when I'm lifting weights, I grow muscle. If I get tired when I'm doing speed work, I'll get faster. But it actually doesn't work out like that. I wonder, is it one of those kind of things where on the surface it makes logic, but if you understand something even remotely, you're like, oh, that makes no sense.
It could also be the grass always greener thing, because you don't tend to see dumbasses from a long way away. You only really get to know an Egypt when you're sitting next to them, you know?
I don't know. The city... We work in the city for a couple of years now.
We need to leave the city.
I think we do. What's really driven home for me from working in the city for so long is just how many weird people are around the place.
Very strange, yeah.
Not like classic heroin addict, junkie.
Which there are a lot of.
Alcohol weird, which is a very, very understandable kind of weird. There's a lot of people weird who are like, oh, you're really weird.
Yeah.
Just kind of blend in, you know. I'd almost say there's more weird people than not in the places we're in.
Yes. It's strange because there's some people out there like winos and stuff and you're just like, it's really unfortunate situation.
Oh yeah.
And then there's some people where you look at them and you think there's a documentary in the making about you. Murder. Yeah.
The problem is, since COVID finished, I feel like there's a lot more of those around. For some reason,
or I don't know. Are we just in the city so we see more of them? Remember we were talking about this last week. Does the city concentrate weird people, or just there more weird people here? I wonder, is the ratio of weird people and normal people the same?
No, I think...
But there's just more people, so you see more weird people.
I think or there's probably part of it too, but I think more weird people come to the city.
Yes.
Because they can kind of blend in, because they probably know they're a bit weird.
Yeah, and there's more weirdos here so they can hang out with each other.
I'm not talking about people who dress flamboyantly or are into...
No, Joe, there's just a look in some people. You can see it in them, like...
Yeah.
It's strange.
You couldn't describe it, but you know it as soon as you see it. Everyone knows we're talking about. Everyone knows someone like them.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a higher concentration down here.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. I'd love... We've talked about this. Myself and Garth want to move the office, and we want to move it to a random farmyard somewhere that has like a nice little standalone office at the side.
Yeah.
Maybe a little mezzanine floor in a warehouse somewhere. Any of this would be great.
If there was a stove.
A wood burning stove is almost, I would say, is almost a deal breaker.
Consistent parking for us.
Yes.
Wood burning stove.
Yeah.
I suppose really reliable internet is very important.
Yeah.
And
even though the government are bringing out the broadband plan, so it'll be sorted. That's everywhere now.
They've been bringing it out for about 20 years now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weird thing is, actually, did I tell you someday, one of those days I just saw someone robbing Pringles, really well dressed person.
Who said that?
And he was looking at the Pringles, had them in his hand, and then he looked around like he was going to rob them. And I almost said, I was like, oh, the coast is clear. In my head I was like, wait, maybe he is robbing them. And then he did rob them and just walked out.
That's crazy.
Weird,
I always thought kleptomania was like one of those made up things that you hear about and that nobody has it. But apparently people do have it.
Apparently kleptomania is way more common than you would think.
I wonder, is that just people need a little bit of fizz in their lives, you know?
I'd say so, yeah.
Yeah. They should try deer shooting.
Or choking people.
Yeah, joking people gives you great fizz.
So I had a list of things to talk about here. Will we
Yeah, it
start?
was nice that you didn't share the list with the co-hosts.
Who is he? Where is he? So we're going to start with the plot holes in Harry Potter, because I know you love Harry Potter. I actually got you a Dobby thing for
You did,
Christmas.
very cute, yeah.
I was out in the shop getting stuff for my son, and then I saw that and I said, "There, I'd love that now."
Yeah.
There was a massive one, but it was like €7 or €8, and I was like, I'm not getting that as a joke Christmas present for Dara. So you got the little miniature Dobby. But one of the things, so when you watch a show and you have to have, like Harry Potter, something known as like suspension of belief or suspension of disbelief, where you accept that there's magic in this universe.
Yes.
However, the problem is within that universe, if there's like closely defined rules or really defined rules,
Yeah.
and then if the universe doesn't make sense within their rules, it's very hard to watch something.
Okay.
So rewatching Harry Potter probably every year,
Yeah.
slowly becomes apparent just how many of these plot holes within the rules of the Harry Potter universe just don't make sense.
I'm actually just writing down something on my phone now because this is a massive plot hole. Go on.
So one of the ones I've seen someone point out, and I thought it was a very good one. You remember at the Quidditch World Cup,
Yes.
where Ireland actually won in the movie, at least. I can't remember if it was in the book.
Yeah.
Where the Voldemort's terrorists come along. There's like 10 of them. There is arguably the highest concentration of witches and wizards in an environment,
Yes.
and like 8 of them scare everyone away. Everyone has a fucking nuclear weapon in their hand. Everyone knows the same spells, and they got scared from a few of
But
them.
so this isn't a plot hole because there's different relative powers for the witches and wizards.
You telling
so
me?
like Harry is a way more powerful.
Yeah.
So like if Harry was to go against Ronald Weasley,
Yeah.
then obviously Harry's going to beat him, even though they're doing the same spell against each other because they're different.
No. That's not
No,
right.
and the other thing is these people are they called Death Eaters?
Death Eaters, yeah.
The Death Eaters are formidable.
Yeah,
so
but
that's like saying,
but everyone
no,
can just go.
no, they don't just go.
Everyone go abracadabra, whatever it is.
Firstly, you can't just use one of the 3 deadliest sins.
Yeah.
That you're going to get locked up in Azkaban
There's
for the rest of your
terrorists.
life. Doesn't
ISIS
matter. Doesn't matter.
have just attacked the Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah.
Death Eater.
No.
No, it doesn't make sense. The
And
head of-
everyone's locked. They were at the Quidditch World Cup. Give them a break.
yeah, wouldn't you be
Give
pulling
him a
out your
break,
wand, just
Owen.
flashing that thing
Wazza!
sideways like a gangster at
What
everyone?
about friendly fire? What happens if you abracadabra someone and it hits a Luna Lovejoy on the sideline? You know?
I'm pretty sure
You
that's
haven't thought about this at all. What's the other one?
I've thought about this one.
Come on, hit
This
me
is
with another one. Because this one doesn't. If you hit me with one, I'll admit it. You hit me with
you
something
won't.
a few weeks
You
ago.
are obsessed with Harry Potter,
No,
and you
you-
will not see a single
No, 'cause
flaw.
you hit me with something a while back that
What?
hit me hard, and I told you it hit me hard.
What was that?
I can't say it here.
So that one I think is a very big one, but I'll accept maybe everyone is really scared for some reason.
And the relative power of wizards is
But-
different.
No, hang on. Fucking Cornelius Fudge was there, right?
Cornelius Fudge is a rat,
Yeah.
a stuttering rat.
What about all his bodyguards? Surely his bodyguards are the Secret Service of Harry Potter were there, and they could have taken him out.
No, in the same way where the Secret Service of the US wouldn't just suddenly start fighting ISIS, they'd get the president out. No, they wouldn't. See, with their fake hands.
Yeah.
No, they'd get the president out safely.
They'd surely have Uzi wands, like
Uzi wands.
MP5 home defense, president defense wands, Gatling guns. Can you hold 2 wands akimbo? Can you just go?
Yeah, what's the story with the akimbo? Is each one half power?
Can I get a really big wand, like a wizard's staff? You know,
Are you compensating for something?
not if I had a wand. Like, can you get a really big bazooka cannon wand? You
But some people have a wand in their walking stick, which is a pretty big wand.
Like another one is
That's not, you can't say another one.
how did
Another theory.
how another one how
Another
did
one.
in this Chamber of Secrets, like Ron and Hermione just got out of the Chamber of Secrets. They just got out. Like Harry and
Yeah.
Jenny,
The basilisk.
Ginny,
Basilisk.
got out in the back of the big bird. How did
Big bird?
How did
Cause back of a bloody big bird.
and your man? Did they get out? Did they all get out in the bird?
What do you mean your man? Tom Riddle.
No, the guy.
You're just...
The guy with that was faking it. The guy was pretending to be a famous witch monster hunter.
Oh, so Ron and Hermione didn't fully enter the Chamber of Secrets because it opens in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And the chamber doesn't reseal behind them.
Yeah.
Go on.
Another one that's not really a plot hole that
Right.
always kind of annoyed me. You know the way Dumbledore just kind of ignored Harry.
That's a massive plot hole.
Do you think that's a plot hole?
That is. I thought that was the first one you were going to bring up, because that is a massive plot hole.
But is that just bad character writing though? Like I
think that's a bit of lack of development of that character.
He's just being a cunt to Harry.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
But also, since the child was 11 years old, he's gone chasing after this super demon person. Mm-hmm. He's obviously, once he's 17 or whatever, going to keep chasing him. Why would you just abandon him then?
Apparently people have said it's like 'cause he's protecting Harry or whatever. But a lot of people said it's like he feels guilty knowing that Harry had to die at some point because
he knew the prophecy.
Because he was one of the...
But if he knew and believed in the prophecy, then...
I'm going to just see, is there any other major plot holes? There's a few things you're watching.
I'm going to tell you a plot hole while we're talking about this.
Go on.
Fool Me Once is a new series on Netflix.
Right.
Started watching it last night. Mm-hmm. The Michelle Keegan from Coronation Street is in it, who apparently everybody knows, but I didn't know. So she's a former helicopter gunship pilot. Yeah, come on.
In real life?
No.
Okay.
In the series.
Right.
Her husband is murdered and her sister is murdered, and you kind of come in just after the husband's been murdered, and there's all of this. The husband's from a really wealthy family, and there's all of this going on in the background. It looks like he faked his own death, basically, right?
Right.
Multiple times in the first 2 episodes, she takes down grown men, large men. She's 5'2" and 48 kilos, right?
I'm aware of she is.
She takes them down. She took like 2 or 3 different lads down. Big fellas now, Garth. Like not small little fellas.
Right.
Takes them down and incapacitates them. She knocks one of them out indefinitely with a back heel. Like, he takes her down and she just kicks him like that and knocks him out indefinitely, and he doesn't chase her through the woods again.
Okay.
It is the most outrageous thing ever with these like pseudo judo moves.
Right.
It really annoyed me, because it doesn't matter how good she is ever at judo. If a man is 6'4" and 115 kilos, she's not taking him down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you, but that doesn't bother me that much.
That really just ruins things for me. Also, she's like this is nitpicking, right? But there's a police officer in it who's living in a house that's worth £1.5 million.
Okay.
Undoubtedly. She supposedly worked in the military, and granted, her husband was from a very well-to-do family, but they're living in like a £5 million mansion. Give me a break, will you? Just give me some...
You like your action movies to be really realistic, don't you?
Very realistic, yeah.
But then you're happy to watch Harry Potter. You just like them.
No, I like it separate.
No, I can appreciate that. I don't particularly mind, but you won't watch Reacher because it's kind of like that. Like,
it's kind of superhero-y.
Yeah, Reacher is kind of a superhero, but it's a very good series.
I probably will give it a watch.
To be honest, there's too many things to watch.
I got hit with the...
No time to watch them.
Addictive personality last night. Lying in bed watching, and I was like, there's a rule against watching series in the bedroom, because I just keep watching them all night long, yeah. Cannot stop.
Is that a legal thing?
That's a Dara Fitz thing.
Okay.
So I only watch movies, or else like throwaway series that you don't really care about. But this hit me. It was like 3.5 hours into watching this, still going strong.
What is it?
Fool Me Once.
Oh, that fooled me once time.
Yeah.
What were you watching this on?
TV.
But no, but like
Netflix.
What?
Netflix, yeah.
TV
on the screen.
Yeah, so no, I haven't. I think, to be honest, we've been watching Harry Potter in segments in the last couple of weeks.
Oh.
It's just, I just don't make the time to watch things. I just don't segment it, to be honest, anymore.
Yeah, I adore Harry Potter.
The last thing I really watched really diligently was Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And then that ended up just absolutely like getting everyone at the end, you know? Just really ruined
You were
it.
really disappointed by the end of Game of Thrones, weren't you?
I think pretty much everyone who watched it.
I wasn't.
You watched it all, did you?
Every bit of it.
But
I rewatched that whole thing again.
Did you?
During COVID, yeah.
To be honest with you, I might actually rewatch it. Wait, we watched it in the office one time.
Yeah.
At lunch.
Yeah.
We got like 3 seasons in. It's really good.
I love that series.
But what didn't bother you about the end? Did you like the ending?
Yeah, it didn't really. It was just kind of like the end.
She went Deathcon 4, Deathcon 5 on the city with her Deathcon dragon, her F-150 dragon.
Yeah, it didn't. People were like, there was outrage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they had to end it somehow. What was going to happen?
Do you know what? I can appreciate the outrage on that, because there's 9 seasons?
It's hardly 9.
8 to 10 seasons, I'd say. So
Jesus.
at a minimum, you've committed possibly 90 to 100 hours of your life, 80 to 100 hours ish of your whole life. If you watch on TV, you have to watch ads and stuff.
Yeah.
If you've invested 100 hours in something,
Yeah.
imagine you put 100 hours into learning a guitar. That's a few, that's a few lessons.
Yeah.
That's maybe 2 years worth of lessons.
Yeah.
That's a lot where you do expect something
You expect something out of it.
and you get absolute nonsense. Imagine you spend 100 hours on a sculpture.
Yeah, but that's very different. You're developing a skill. Like, you're not learning anything from Game of Thrones.
But you're
it's there
invested.
as mindless entertainment.
No, it's not mindless.
It's not mindless.
You've invested yourself into this.
Who I feel bad for
Go on.
is the people who got tattoos of Game of Thrones things or named their dogs Game of Thrones names.
No, that's fine. What's wrong with
If
that?
they're massively disappointed at the end,
Oh, okay.
then I'm saying I feel bad for you.
I didn't let you finish your sentence.
You didn't. Shock. Shock. Horror.
No, I appreciate that. That's fair enough.
I feel bad in those cases.
Do you know what I find really weird? Is
Go
when
on.
people get tattoos of like Joe Rogan's face
Very
or
strange.
the Rock's face.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird because you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know. Imagine you got like Jimmy Savile's face.
You don't know what they've already done.
You don't know what they've already done is exactly right. Like if you got Joe Rogan 10 years ago, you're
Yeah.
like, man, this guy is the leading world of the free culture
Yeah.
movement. Now he's like a commercially old man talking
Yeah.
about just keeps talking about the same stuff. He's like stuck on repeat.
Hmm.
Like people used to get the Joe Rogan third eye thing.
Yeah, very strange.
The Rock is kind of like, okay, there's a lot of those.
The Rock tattoos.
I personally would never do that, but it's a little
I
bit weird.
really want to get the Seeker Strength logo tattooed.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's not that tattoos don't make sense and they're
Yeah.
weird. It's that people's faces.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit different if you got someone like, I don't know why Charlie Chaplin is coming to my head, but someone who's long dead and we've like established what he did. If you're really into comedy or
Yeah.
you're an artist.
Or Hitler's face or
you're-
something.
You're like a thespian, and you're like, you find like the original actor or something, that's cool.
Yeah.
But, like, remember that time in the early 2000s where, was it Bruce Willis or Mel Gibson went crazy?
Gibson went off the rails.
Off the rails. And
He's kind of back on the rails now, though, isn't he?
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis has Alzheimer's.
No way.
Yeah, I think he's kind of on the way out. I think it's,
Oh, no.
it's pretty severe, I think. Yeah.
Jeez, that's, yeah.
He's sold his likeness to be used as AI for advertisements to, I think it was a Romanian company.
Bruce Willis did.
So they've sold
Yeah,
the rights.
yeah.
The rights so they can take all of his voice recordings and stuff and make
Whatever they want.
pretty much, I think that's for his family though.
Remember Jang Ho was doing like a scan of Clarence to make an AI Clarence?
Yeah, he took photos of his face.
Yeah.
Did he end up doing that, I wonder? I must ask Jang.
He definitely did.
He just wanted to put into an AI thing and make a 3D replica of Clarence's face or something?
This is Jang Ho from We Lift Weights, by the way.
Yeah, Asian Seb.
Asian Seb, yeah.
No, I remember that. Clarence was a
That-
bit weirded out. I would be too.
That weirds me out.
But Jang said, Clarence's first question was, will this be available on the internet for
Yeah.
everyone? And Jang was like, no, but we know that's not how AI things work.
Yeah.
They just take everything.
But it doesn't matter. If you're just creating anything now, you should just create it with the explicit knowledge in your mind that this will probably be on the internet one day.
Do you think our stuff is on the internet?
There is so much of me on the internet that I'm deeply uncomfortable with it.
At this stage, there's so much of everyone on the internet.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about AI before, but it's going to fuck up everything.
I don't think it will.
I think it has to
I'd
happen.
say
though.
we'll be grand.
I think the potential
The
is
potential
amazing.
for
Is
downstream
amazing.
effects.
The problem is there's at least one future where we're in 20 years time we're hiding from robots in Northwest Cork.
Do you think I'm worried about 20 years time, Gareth?
We could, there's a very distinct possibility that we're hiding from robots in Northwest Cork in 20 years time from AI robots. It's a possibility.
Armored tanks
and cars and guns. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's a consideration.
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Tesla are making robots now.
Yeah. I want a robot. I want a robot that
Yeah,
just
I
does...
know what kind of robot you want.
Hey, a
that's-
robot to drag deer off the mountain is what I want.
Dara, please, it is so heavy.
Ask Owen to do it.
Oh my God. No, there's one kind of robot that's going to ruin population for everyone.
I listened to a clip the other day.
Deborah
this woman
So-
on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Sounds bizarre.
I didn't listen to that bit yet, the podcast. I'm listening to her.
Do you know how crazy it was when she's like, if you listen to the clip anyway, she's talking about sex robots. she wouldn't tell them the names of the company because she was like, oh, the companies are just going to get overwhelmed if I put them up on the screen now. So basically they put the robots up on the screen, didn't show the robots on screen, didn't mention any of the company names because she was like, they're about a year or two out from being done.
Way.
Yeah.
That's the kind of company you need to invest in.
My God, yeah.
That's the problem with that is not so much people who are kind of adults. It's the problem is if you meet those robots, specifically young males, if you meet those before you're kind of fully formed, before you've ever had relationships with men or women,
Yeah.
before you've ever kind of had those interactions, if you go to that, then try and get a relationship, probably you won't be able to get a relationship because you'll have developed zero social skills.
Yes.
And then all the intricacies, all the heartbreak, all the hardship of trying to deal with the opposite or potentially same sex in a relationship, you know, mostly I think this will be straight men. The population is going to go, because what happens, you're not going to learn how to talk to women when you're 30.
No.
You're just not going to.
No. Yeah, to be honest, by the time you're kind of finished college, like mid-20s, you're not going to learn after that.
No.
You just don't have the
No.
dumbness to be able to go up and do it. Joe, just to roll the dice, just to be like, woohoo!
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
swinging.
in major trouble. Like,
Because lots of countries, pretty much every country eventually is going to head towards a place where their reproduction rate is going to be below their kind of replacement rate.
but your favourite man in the world, Brian Johnson, is just going to make us live forever, Gareth. So we'll all just be these drones.
There's a good ethical question to, should you be allowed to live forever?
Why is that?
Because you're not making space for next generations, you know?
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck them, like, but
So now you want more children and less people to
I
be
want more
living.
sex robots and less children.
The sex robot thing is mental, though.
Yeah.
I don't.
You've 2 on pre-order, though, is it? You found the website.
If I had the money on. No, I just don't think. I think it's creepiness beyond acceptability, you know?
But so if we're thinking like in the next 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
That there'll be sex robots that are just basically blow up dolls that have some function.
Yeah.
But you need to think in 100 years' time, those sex robots are going to be indistinguishable between me and you, which will be the basis for all sex robots.
Me and you, like.
They will get on the internet.
Welcome to Seek It Strength.
No, but we're thinking the next few years, you're like,
I
hey,
know.
The only good thing about this is the community shame, the social shame.
Yes.
That will hold a lot of people back from doing it, and rightly so.
Yeah, I just can't imagine there's too many parents being like, yeah, that's no bother,
Dad,
Jimmy.
I want a sex robot.
No, it's for my homework.
Yeah.
No, I'd say we're grand.
I don't think we are there.
I'd say we're grand.
Wait, on sex robots or AI?
Human beings in general will be grand. I just think things go wrong so often, and people are so terrible about following through on things.
Yeah.
That it just won't. People are like, oh, it's going to take over the world or all this stuff, you know. In the same way where people are like, yeah, we're going to colonize Mars in 10 years. Or by the year 2000, we'll be flying around the place in flying cars. Everyone always thinks, oh, in 20 years' time, we're going to be screwed because of technology. But we never are. People just can't get it done, like.
I don't know. I think technology's messed up a lot of things currently.
Yeah, messing up people's mental.
No one believes in anything anymore.
That's the crazy thing.
Everyone thinks they're an expert in everything now.
People being anti-science.
Yeah. But people think they're experts.
And then trying to prove it through scientific logic.
Well, how do we know I can see the earth is flat, so what do you mean?
Yeah.
Or you'll talk about stuff and I'll see a lot in space stuff. I'll see the comments and they'll be like, how do you even know what Jupiter is made of? And you're like, they have spent so long.
Yeah.
So long.
Yeah.
They've done so much maths. They've sent probes there. They've flown a probe into Jupiter. I think it's Jupiter or Saturn.
Yeah.
Like they've spent their lives. There's been literally billions of dollars spent on that.
But and literally lives on top of lives on top of lives.
Jimmy McDumbfuck comes along. Like, how do they know? How can you tell?
I think there's one particular nation at the moment is really driving the anti-science rhetoric more than anyone else.
Is it Switzerland?
No, I think Switzerland are pretty on the science train. On
Iceland?
No,
Getting closer?
Iceland have much bigger things to worry about.
Getting closer?
Much closer geographically.
Mexico.
Yeah. Not Mexico.
Canada.
Touching on both ends.
Puerto Rico.
Kind of.
But the problem is it's unfair to Americans to be like
It
America,
is unfair, yeah.
because there's so many Americans.
It's unfair but completely just.
There's loads of fantastic Americans.
Some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in your entire life.
So nice.
Yeah.
Really well educated.
Yeah.
Do so much for their community, the world at large. Really nice people.
Yeah.
The problem is with those Americans is they're lumped in with the other 300 million Americans.
Yeah.
Or 350 million or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know. It's really unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate.
Like there's lots of Americans who listen to this.
But they're the reason that smallpox will come back.
Oh my God. Oh, they're having a real tough time politically, it looks like.
Those things.
The Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That system just seems doomed for failure, though.
If anyone wants to, no, actually, don't chime in the comments on this. Don't put those in the comments because YouTube will.
Yeah.
Don't talk about American politics
or those particular medications.
So let's move on from.
Yeah, what's number 4 on the list?
Okay, well, I've also got is crosswords and Wordle and stuff.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
I've been doing those before bed now.
Yeah.
They say you're not supposed to do stuff that involves mental activity before bed.
Yeah, I can't play chess in bed.
I have been doing stuff before I've gone to bed for most of my life.
This is a family podcast.
For most of my life, I've been doing mental activities before I go to bed. Like I used to have a little, the reader.
I'll read your bookmark.
No, a little lamp that folds over the top of your book.
Yeah. And a small little,
Always.
Yeah.
Always read. The problem now is when I start reading before bed, I'll kind of fall asleep in a few minutes. So I can't actually do much reading before bed, So I switched to Wordle. One of my favorite ones at the moment is a spelling one where there's a letter in the middle.
Yeah. And
then it's surrounded by 5 or 6 other letters.
Yeah, my parents play it.
And you have to make a word from those.
And there's like 10 different words spelled out with blank blocks.
No.
You have to keep going until you get all the 10.
There's no. You just have to make up the words.
A different one to you.
A similar idea.
Yeah.
Minimum of 4 letters. The more letters you get per word you make up is obviously worth more.
Yeah.
I've gotten so fast at doing it now though that's not as much fun anymore. Like I'll get it done within like 2 minutes.
Things like that really lose their pizzazz.
Yeah.
I find that with Sudoku as well, you'll get to the point where you might have done them in a few years and you'll go like medium, hard, expert. And then after a few months you're like, I'm done. Or a few weeks even. And then you kind of need to dumb yourself down again, not do them for a few months and then go back to them.
You really like Sudoku, don't you?
Love it, yeah.
Never got into it.
Yeah, I really like it. I also like playing chess online, as I've mentioned 4 times today.
Yeah, but you have an issue with playing chess online.
Very, very bad issue, yeah.
For some reason, my reels on Instagram keep showing me chess stuff, and I have not interacted. I've not sent it. I've not liked it.
I'm watching it here, so the IP address is...
It's really annoying.
Yeah.
And it's like, Magnus has made a bad move, and now he's really mad. And
Why Magnus shows up late to chess matches.
But what's so funny is the niches on the internet is there'll be like thousands of comments being like, can't believe Magnus did that. And I'm like, you guys are losers.
Magnus is the baller of the chess world.
I know you've got really high IQs, but you're still losers.
Yeah.
You're all nerds.
The chess thing is really weird because they'll do like smack talking and be cool, but it's like... Yes, I do have a standard exercise routine because it helps with my concentration.
There's a whoop band.
Yeah.
Like
it's such a strange world.
What's funny is when people try and defend them, they'll be like, Magnus isn't a nerd, he does mountaineering.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's nothing you could say. Like, unless you showed me a video of Magnus doing coke off a hooker's butt.
Still, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you say. Like, it's not an insult. It's just a demographic. Like,
I actually feel sorry for the real high-level chess guys because they're all day long. They say, like, when they wake up in the morning, they just have chess games running in their head all the time.
Yeah.
And they can't stop. Like, thinking about old games, thinking about games they would have read of 150 years that were played 150 years ago.
Oh, no way.
And they're running through that game in their head. Like they're literally just constantly thinking about chess, constantly.
There's been books written about chess for hundreds of years. Some manuals.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Chess and chess has never progressed faster than in the last 10 years.
No way.
I think it's like 15 times faster in the last 10 years than in the previous 150.
New tactics and stuff.
Because people play, there's a standard of chess and how many grandmasters there is because people play against computers.
Right.
And the computers will constantly feed you an upgraded version and more intricate moves. So you're constantly progressing. versus, say, if you might have been back in the murder triangle as a 7-year-old, you might have read books and you would have played against people, but your standard wouldn't really have been tested that much. You wouldn't have been fed constant new stuff all the time.
To be honest, I was too busy throwing mud balls at my brothers.
Yeah. Man, remember when you get a mud ball thrown at you and there was a stone on it?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That was the Russian roulette of our time.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. There was... I showed my nephew how to play chess.
I thought you were going to say how to throw a mud ball.
No, he's not that kind of boy. Not yet, anyway. But I showed him how to play chess. He's like 7 or 8. He's a bit of a genius, to be honest.
Yeah.
They do their maths online, so he lives in the UK, you know, and you can do it online and it ranks where you're doing your maths to him, and you can do the next year's up maths. And he's like 3 or 4 years up in maths and stuff. You know.
That's mad.
But I showed him how to play chess, you know, and obviously in the first game we are just learning. By the end of the first game, he knew as much about chess as I did.
That
he
is
had
crazy.
Everything learned. Do you know you let someone win?
Yes.
Obviously, the first game, you're like, this is checkmate or whatever. Like, he had it fully down. I think he'd assimilated all of my knowledge from chess.
That's mad.
Crazy, yeah.
Kids are just so much better at those things.
I think, yeah, kids are probably getting smarter.
Yeah.
Although, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I know some dumb kids.
Yeah, there's teenage boys have not gotten any smarter, and it's great to see.
Nah, it's great to see.
They are just as dumb.
Just as dumb.
I'm really glad, because, you know, if you listen to like Chris Williamson, Modern Wisdom, things sound pretty dire with the younger generation. But the teenagers I interact with, mostly in jiu-jitsu and stuff, they are just as stupid. They're trying to have sex just as much.
What you do for the weekend? I set fire to a field.
Are you going to school? No, I'm going to go to school. Like they're trying to avoid school as much as possible. Yeah. They're trying to drink as much as possible.
They're always getting in fights.
Do you see the crowds at like Christmas days before Christmas?
Yeah.
So in Ireland there's a thing called Christmas days. The UK probably have it too, where people just go drinking all day, dressed in Christmas sweaters. And like there'd be thousands of young people at it, and it's fantastic to see.
It's great.
It's great to see that things aren't as dire as it might seem in statistics. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Things aren't that bad at all.
Lots of people are drinking this Christmas.
There's a lot of drinking. Yeah,
a lot of. What is the crack good like? I wasn't out over Christmas.
Crack was phenomenally good this year.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You know, sometimes it's just the perfect crack, the perfect amount. The perfect level of, like, you need a bit of divilment. But then if there's too much divilment, the night's kind of ruined.
Too much divilment is too much.
Yeah, because like the people you're hanging out with don't want to be hanging out with you. You know, if it gets too rowdy.
You don't want to be smoking a cigarette saying, fuck, can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
After at 3 o'clock.
I did eat a whole wheel of brie for 50 quid on New Year's Eve.
That's the right amount of divilment.
That's funny. Like.
Yeah, that's harmless divilment.
Whereas then if there's no divilment and you're sitting around in like a wine bar, and people are like, oh, really, this is very strong on the tenants now. I don't like that, not as much.
There's a wine bar opened up by us here in the office, and it is hopping.
Very fancy, yeah.
To be honest, anyone who goes in there, you're going to look real pretentious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the fanciest place here, I'd say.
They don't seem to have any tables. It's all...
It's like a communal bench and...
Yeah, it's like benches, kind of bar level, like chest level, or nipple height, you might say.
They definitely put the hot people near the window.
They should.
They should as well, like... Ugly people should be sat at the back. Yeah. Please to the front, please.
Yeah.
But it makes sense to do that.
Would you take someone on a date there?
Yes. Oh, it's date. Absolutely.
See, the problem with dates in Ireland is you only take your girlfriend on date after she's your girlfriend, basically.
That's not true.
It's kind of true.
No, it's not true.
It's mostly true, Dara.
Some people would say you stop bringing your girlfriend out for dates once you've been going out.
No. Most Irish people only go on dates after you've solidified that you're in a relationship.
Well, sorry, you'd only go on dates in the same town or county.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't be seen out with someone. Because people would be talking.
Isn't that very funny? It's such an Irish thing.
Yeah.
There's kind of like, in Ireland, when you're seeing someone originally, the aim of the game from both parties is to let the least amount of people know.
Yeah.
You won't tell your friends for a long time, or you'll just really hedge your bets.
Or you'll get caught out and you'll have to tell someone.
Yes, you'll get seen.
Yes.
And then you have to break the news before someone else breaks it.
Yeah. I was seen before, very early days of a relationship, 2 or 3 weeks in maybe, and somebody drove past me, a particular buddy, mutual friend of ours, didn't say anything to me, I was like, I'm definitely caught now. He definitely saw me.
Right.
Later on that week we were hanging out, we're all spinning around the place, can't remember what we were doing. It's like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, he hasn't said anything yet, I got a bit cocky. started
mouthing off as you do,
mouthing off, shooting from the hip as I want to do.
Yeah, blasting everywhere.
And then suddenly the car pulled over. He was like, right, I'm gonna say it, but I saw you at this place with this person, and I just flat blank denied it, like swearing on my life that I didn't do it as I should.
Yeah.
Having not realised that on Google Maps you can go back and see everywhere you've been where your phone was in your pocket.
Jesus.
So I obviously just point blank refused to take out the Google Maps, then wiped it. And that's in essence, that shows more guilt than anything else.
Yeah. Oh, not showing it.
Like refusing to give it.
If there's a demographic listening to this of 18 to 24, if you could just let us know what your life is like at the moment.
Yeah.
Give us a good honest.
Yeah, how much drinking's going on?
Are you having fun?
What's it like texting lads and texting girls? Like, what's that interplay like?
Mm-hmm. Like, because I had great fun.
Yeah.
Not that I don't have fun now, but there's certain segments I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go do it now if I could. You know, there's things where you appreciate, like college was great.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go to college now. Do you know that kind of way? Like, only if you'd go back if you were the same age again. Like a great time, but like it's very segmented. I don't yearn for it. I don't feel...
I kind of rode that horse hard enough when I was riding it, to be honest.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not nostalgic for it, but I am very appreciative of it. Do you know that kind of way? But I hope people, that age now, are having fun.
Yeah.
I had great fun.
I hope you wake up with like a $5 in your pocket and you're like, oh, thank God I have money.
It would be so expensive to do anything.
I don't understand how they go drinking now.
No idea. No idea how they go drinking. What's a naggin cost now?
8 something.
Fuck.
So a naggin is 200 millilitres of vodka or whiskey or whatever. They used to have 5 naggins.
Did you ever buy naggin of whiskey? Like then? Did you regularly buy?
Not regularly, because you'd get a 5 naggin. The only time I started buying naggins of whiskey is when the 5 naggins disappeared.
Fish key, like.
Yeah.
What did you mix the whiskey with though?
The back of my throat.
A straight downer?
Yeah.
You never mixed it?
No.
What if you're prinking?
Prinks used to be just a bottle of whiskey and then I'd bring whatever.
But you mix whiskey with ginger ale. Did you do that back then?
Ginger ale, no, usually it would be like a 2 litre of Coke Zero or something.
Did you like drink like kind of chaser as Americans call it? Or did you
chase? I much preferred the chase than the...
I remember one time at Christmas I had delivered a load of turkeys and got a lot of cash, and I bought a Jägermeister.
Oh,
nagging a Jägermeister.
Fancy boy.
It's like €12.
College boy.
It's like a nagging a Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Whoa. Didn't know myself.
Yeah, because you were absolutely hallucinating a lot. Did I ever tell you about the Jägermeister at my 18th birthday party?
No.
So my father...
Is it safe for work?
Nicest man you'll ever meet in your entire life. My father said he's going to go and sort out some drink to have at the 18th. So 18th birthday parties, everyone's bring your own beer. It was just a barbecue. We went and got straw bales and sat around and drank.
Lovely.
As you did, right?
Excellent.
Lovely.
Sounds fantastic.
Lovely ambiance. And so Dad went and got a few slabs of Bud, probably a few slabs of like cider bottles, like Bulmers or something. And then he came back and he said, Dar, look what else I got you. I saw this in the off license. And he had a litre of Jägermeister in his hand.
No way. A litre? I don't think I've ever seen.
What in the name of good God? So the age range here is 16 to 20 maybe, right?
Yes.
I was like, don't you dare bring that outside. He was like, remember we used to drink this when we were skiing? And I was like, yeah, we're going to turn everyone out there into goblins and we won't have a house tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I literally had to hide the Jägermeister in the cupboard. I was like, there's absolutely no way you could bring that out.
No.
Somebody would grab that and drink the litre.
Dead right. I don't think I've ever seen a litre of Jägermeister, Dara.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever held one.
Litre Jägermeister out of the freezer is lovely.
Jesus.
Joe.
That's some forethought that I would never have had when I was drinking.
Yeah.
In the
Jägermeister
freezer.
out of the freezer is the way for it, really.
My wedding was the most I've drank in a long time. But
really? You were on it that night.
But it's the heaviest I've ever been. So I was actually just way less drunk than I should have been.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Your liver was massive.
But I had so much fat cells to take up that alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been up as an open bar or paid for or whatever.
It's so funny when you were explaining the open bar. You were like, this is not enough money. Like, this is not, you don't know what you're getting yourselves in for.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's just not really done in Ireland, I suppose, when you get married, the open bars or the free bars.
I don't think people could afford to do it.
what a lot of people do is they'll have like a tab or a credit.
Yeah.
And then once that's over, then
You're conceivably talking about €150 per person.
I think what's very fair is if when people buy a certain number of bottles beforehand.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
I think that's very fair. And once that's gone, then no one complains and everyone's very appreciative of it.
No, and everybody understands as well that you're just going to pay for your own drink.
Yes. Yeah.
Have
you any? Oh, go on.
Go on.
Have you any weddings this year? Other than the obvious. Shields
3 or 4.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Oh, it's so many. It's so
I
expensive.
think it might be 4.
Are they all domestic?
No.
Oh, you're going to Rome for one, are you?
Rome for 1. Limerick for 1.
Abroad.
Dingle for 1.
Yeah. Dingle will be great.
Dingle will be great.
Where in Dingle?
I don't know.
They tried to rename Dingle. Tried to rename it on Dangan, like the official name. Didn't
and
get
they
it.
changed
Though.
all the signs.
But they didn't get it. They weren't allowed.
No. I think they went and changed all the
they
signs.
did do it?
Yeah.
That's dead right. You should be allowed.
Sorry, no. Is the story not that they tried to change it because it's in the Gaeltacht?
Yeah, but they weren't allowed.
Nobody in Dingle wanted it.
Oh, was that
And
it?
I'm pretty sure the locals went, because Dingle is like Dingle Gin, Dingle whatever,
Okay.
Dingle Bay, like all of that stuff is like a brand in itself. So I'm sure a load of local businesses went mental over it.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Well, but I would support anyone who wants to do that.
Yes.
If you wanted to change it to Gaelga, I'd be all about it.
Absolutely. It'd be great if you're living in the Gaeltacht because you get grants for everything.
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, so you've heard.
This could just be another one of those things where like they got a grant to paint their house because it's in the Gaeltacht.
You get a living kind of grant.
Do you?
Yeah.
To live there?
I don't think it's worth that much anymore. I think
Maybe
10 years ago.
Sikhistan could move to the Gaeltacht.
I think that would be...
Wonder would we get money if we did a podcast every week as Gaelga?
I bet if we had a business in the Gaeltacht. I've been listening to podcasts on Gaelga.
Have you?
So there's like one where they'll do a basic Irish podcast, you know.
Yes.
And I can kind of keep along, and then they'll do the like Gaeilge Irish or fluent Irish.
Okay, yeah.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's like in the what I'd call like the global generic Irish dialect. So it's like Munster and Leinster kind of mixed.
Yeah.
Where I should be able to understand it, you know.
Yeah.
Because like Connacht Irish isn't the same language. Ulster Irish is the same one, but it's just not in the right tone.
Yeah.
And then Munster and Leinster are pretty similar.
The dialects are very difficult.
Connacht is outrageous.
Yeah, that's just people acting the maggot as well, though.
Yeah.
You know?
They are different.
Like, you could just talk at a normal pace and not through your nose, and you'd be grand.
My favourite one is Gia Eve. Is like good evening or good afternoon, basically, or kind of hello, like good day, whatever. It doesn't actually mean that. It means
God with you.
It means God with you, you know. So it's like it's a greeting. And in the West, on the Aran Islands, it's changed so much that they say well jibe.
Well jibe.
So it's like well jeeve, jeeve, and you're kind of slang changing as you go west, and their accents, and they're big thick mountain accents.
Yeah.
And they kind of turn into a jibe.
Jibe.
So you're like well jibe.
Jibe. Yeah, I like it. I every so often find myself listening to something in Irish without realising it's in Irish. But if I was to speak that same level of Irish back, it would be difficult for me. You know, if I was watching a match on TG Car or something, which is the Irish TV station, I'd have no bother listening to it and knowing everything that's going on, or even like the radio news on in Irish, no bother at all. But that vocabulary wouldn't be regularly available for me to speak, but I would understand it.
I really wish they would change how it's taught, you know. People are saying it for years, and it's always become a cliche where they're like, oh, it's taught terribly. And I agree. I think it is taught terribly.
Is it?
I think so.
I've no idea.
Yeah,
we weren't taught it at all. We just spoke Irish from day one.
So like there, I went to a Gael school, which is it did everything in Irish. Usually you go there from primary school, and when you go there from primary school, even if you are not from a Gaeltacht, they'll just teach everything from day one as if no one's got any Irish, even though a lot of those kids will be pretty fluent when they go to their...
yeah, like you walk in and they just don't speak English.
Yes, but they're very, very lenient, like, you know.
Yeah.
But most other schools, like 98% of schools in Ireland, teach Irish as a individual subject, you know. And I think the primary school is pretty good. But it's once you get to secondary school, it's essentially taught like English is taught, where you're doing like prose and you're learning off poems and stuff. But it's based on a very poor assumption that
you have a working level.
Yeah, and it's taught in a way that's like you're learning classic Irish literature kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I think,
Peg sayers.
like, I know it'd be hard for a government to justify, but if they did just try to make it spoken Irish.
Yeah.
So a couple of countries have brought, in the last 100 years or so, brought back like native languages and stuff from varying degrees. Actually, not a super hot topic, but Israel is a good example of a recent country who've brought their native language to the people. Some of Patrick Pierce, he was a fluent Gaeilgeoir. He was one of the revolutionaries. He went to Belgium to study how they were teaching, I think, French and English and stuff.
Yeah, I do know.
People have tried.
Yeah, we had a much better level of Irish than the Irish teachers did in school when we went to secondary school.
Okay.
So it's weird because they would have done university level Irish, but it still they wouldn't have had like an in-depth understanding of it.
Do you know what really fucked me up the last few months was I was so tired from trying to squat 200 kilos. I didn't have the mental capacity to keep listening to stuff in Irish.
Yeah.
I was like, the last 6 weeks there, I was so tired all the time.
Yeah.
So
that mental capacity is difficult too, because sometimes you just don't need that.
Yeah.
You just do not want that.
Yeah.
Just give it to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like somebody handing you an unpeeled potato.
Problem is, you talking it as well, the languages you have to be talking or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if they change it, but I don't think they ever will, realistically. It's very slow to change the education system in Ireland because the teachers complain about everything.
I also think there's probably bigger fish to fry.
It was a big part of the revolutionaries' goals.
Yeah.
All of them were huge on the Gaelic revival.
Yeah.
You know, even like people... Patrick Connolly was born in Scotland and he came over and he learned fluent Irish.
Scottish, whatever they are.
Scots Gael, I think that they call
it. Yeah, it's very, very similar.
Very similar, yeah.
A lot more heavy on the consonants.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so similar that you can almost understand it.
You could, like, with place names and stuff, you'd be able to see, like, oh, this is river of this or whatever, you know. You'd get a grasp for it.
Yeah.
But it's it's spoken as kind of, because of the heavy Scottish accent.
Yes.
Makes things difficult.
Yeah.
Do you know what's shockingly similar is Scottish hurling or shinty?
No way.
It's the hurling, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Except they play it with things that look like massive hockey sticks, like ice hockey sticks.
You never watched Warrior? No, not Warrior. What was the Icelandic thing with the Vikings?
What was the name of that?
Was it called Viking? No.
Was it Vikings? I think it was Vikings.
Well, no, that was a TV show. What was a Viking movie called? Where? Oh my God!
Highlander?
No, Highlander is the immortal thing. The Northman.
The Northman. So never watched it.
There's a game in that where they're playing something with a ball and stick, and they've got 3 posts, but it's super violent. Halftor is actually in that scene. The Northman. It's actually very interesting. I wonder if it's a real Norse sport.
Probably is. It's funny how similar most of those games are. Joe, I'm sure the Basque Country in Spain has something pretty similar. Go on, throw out that pronunciation. I can see it.
Knat liquor.
Knat liquor.
Nash liquor was an ancient ball game played by Vikings of Iceland. The term also applied to modern sports recreated by reenactors and now played at a few United States institution as college club sport.
Geez, Americans love to appropriate a country, don't they?
Sure, someone's got to play it. Based on what is known about the historical game. Oh, the game is probably similar to early versions of the Irish sport of hurling. Oh, there you go.
Up you by ya.
One of the lads. Up the ra.
Completely...
Nat liquor.
Completely nothing to do with Nat liquor, but the best advertising campaign I've heard this year is Muff Liquor vodka, or it's Muff Liquor gin. Have you heard that ad?
No.
Come for the name, stay for the taste.
Muff diver used to be a slang for...
I think everyone knows what that means. But
this is definitely getting demonetized.
No, it's not. That's the name of a vodka.
No, Muff Diver is.
Oh, that could be, yeah. I'm trying to...
Muff Diver.
Get up, boo, that I said.
Muff is such a particular name for the thing. For the appendage, like...
For it.
Muff Liquor. Muff Diver. Muff Liquor Vodka.
I'm looking it up here now because the slogan was just perfect.
So apparently this was huge in Iceland back in the DAY.
Muff Liquor Vodka or the sport?
Muff diving.
Are you legal drinking age in your country? Yes, I am.
You've been to Iceland, haven't you?
Yeah. Twice.
Have they kept their
Three
culture
times.
in a way that's... I feel like they have, but I've no
Do
nothing.
you know what, Owen? It's very cold and people are inside most of the time.
Yeah.
It's how I describe it.
We're going to try visit our buddy,
Hopefully, yeah.
Story Pappy Blaine.
Yeah.
You're going to get in better shape. I'm going to get in better shape for running.
I'm not allowed to go till I'm in better shape.
Yeah, we're just not allowed to go. But Iceland is so close to Ireland, it's pretty funny. It's like a 2.5 hour flight, is it? It's not that much. So,
It's right there in the middle of the Atlantic. Sorry, I'm still flat out trying to find this slogan.
you're getting on a lot of pop-ups, are you?
There's things popping up here that have nothing to do with it.
There's a surprising amount of gyms in Iceland.
Yeah, very into their fitness.
Has Mufflicker got anything to do with Iceland? Other than
Made in Donegal. I think it's just a great...
One of our jiu-jitsu buddies gave me 2 hot sauces. So I gave him some venison. And he gave me hot sauces called Scarlet for your ma.
Scarlet for your ma.
That sentence to anyone outside of Ireland means nothing. That's English words, but that is, you just cannot fathom what that means.
You could probably deduce what's happening.
Before we go on, if you put in the comments what you think Scarlet for your ma means.
Like the video as well while you're here, will you?
Yeah, like the video, but tell us what you think Scarlet for your ma means. Basically means I'm embarrassed for you. I've got flushing in my cheeks. I'm embarrassed for your mother.
Yeah, I've had a raise in blood pressure because of embarrassment.
A flushing of the exterior surface level skin.
Which led to peripheral skin cells becoming flush.
Subcutaneous flushing of the skin.
Such to the point where I'm embarrassed for your mother because you exist. Because you've done something so embarrassing.
So one of them was the original, just hot sauce flavour.
Right.
But the other one was like a cherry flavour.
Right.
Incredible.
No way.
Unbelievable.
Like a tart cherry?
Yes. So this is like, what were those microbreweries called when IPAs and stuff? What's the name for that?
Craft beer?
Craft beer. This is like craft hot sauce.
Okay.
Now, Frank's
is the goat.
Frank's is the goat. Frank's, there's not a meat in the world, including fish, that if you put a bit of butter and hot sauce in a medium heated pan and melt it until it's silky smooth and put it over that meat, there is nothing that doesn't taste unbelievable.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I think the best wing sauce is
butter and Frank's hot sauce.
Yeah, in a 50-50 ratio. And then you can maybe tweak it a little bit if you want to make it sticky or whatever.
I don't mind the addition of some processed blue cheese. So not real blue cheese, not actual flavoured blue cheese, but I like the tang from liquid blue cheese, you know?
Spray blue cheese like.
Yeah, like industrial blue cheese.
Okay.
I like the addition of that.
Blue cheese for me is very much a mood thing.
It's disgusting.
I'd say 300 days out of the year I wouldn't touch it, but 65 days of the year if somebody put a little cracker with some blue cheese on it, I'd make a fool of it.
Me and the wife were out somewhere a few years ago. Went into a pretty fancy restaurant, and one of the hors d'oeuvres was like had blue cheese in it, you know. I of course mostly don't need a processed blue cheese at this point in my life.
No, you didn't go for it, did you?
I did go for it, yeah. Positively disgusting.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
No, it's just nasty. Like,
yeah,
it's not nice.
Well, no, that's
no. This is just wrong. It's actually, there's no arguing here. It's not subjective. It's disgusting.
Well, there's a massive.
Do you like the flavour of shit?
No.
Okay, there's my argument.
I was about to say something so inappropriate there.
Yeah.
I need to take those shoes down off the wall.
2 girls, 1 blue cheese.
Do you know what? I'm going to start training, Garth, when I take those shoes off the wall and you bring in the white antas and we can put them up instead. You
want the white antas? I'm just bringing my white belt to put it up on the column.
Yeah.
But let's get a new column in the new office. If we ever move. There's, in the new video that's gone up there, you say 5, but you're like, 5?
Oh, really?
Tip number 5. 5.
There's some things I say in videos, if I'm like listening back to it randomly or if I'm reading comments and I can hear it, I say something sometimes and I am so utterly annoyed with how I say them.
I don't do that anymore, thankfully. I'm annoyed at other things I say, but not how I say them. Torsion system.
There they are. There's an 8's baby girl. So they're about to see some big squats and fat asses.
We muff diving, whiskey,
muff liquor.
Thanks for
Thanks very much for tuning in.
To just
if there's topics of conversation that are completely inappropriate for normal Seek a Strength videos, would you like to hear me and Owen talking about them? That's
oh,
there we
perfect
go.
timing.